This whole fiasco with Lillian Finance is really getting out of hand. I know why it went so far south, and I'm still disappointed in these jokers because this was all avoidable, ladies and gentlemen. And I'm here to just simply share what I know, which ain't much, but what I've seen, what I've parsed, and I watched it from a distance. Bette Midler. So here's where we're at. Of course, Lily had sworn, and I wish they didn't, but they had sworn, come Monday, you're going to find out, and it's going to be listed on Coinbase. Doot, 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 doot. And Monday came and went, and there was no listing. And of course, there's been major dumps of Lily Finance or Lillian Finance. And you can watch the graph, and the dumps are pretty significant. Somebody was brave enough to buy some dips. That stopped. And so now we're kind of holding, but we are way down. As I look at the graphs, and I'll just look at them, pull them up right now. But as I look at the graphs, they're in a pretty rough spot, mostly because the Lilly Finance team just couldn't hold off. They couldn't help themselves. They had to announce a thing that they couldn't sustain. So to put it in perspective, right now, Lilly Finance is roughly about 50% down from where it was and way down from its peak. Now, do I still think it'll recover? I don't know at this point because investor sentiment has been harmed so badly. I do suspect that if there was a thing, it will help pump back up. But right now, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of ages over 18, we're looking pretty bad. I want to tell you why it got even worse. So apparently, and I don't go to Telescam, as people know, I don't go to Telescam, but apparently in Telescam, they're deflecting. They're trying to defend a troubled situation instead of just owning that they screwed up. They're trying to do something. And so in their official Telescam, apparently they shared a screenshot of the email allegedly from Coinbase. If this sounds familiar, it should, because that's what Terrarium did. And in that case, it turned out it was Milton. And that case turned out it would be fake. It was fake and phony, BS, and then it never recovered. Well, this screenshot, it apparently people noticed that it's coming from what looks to be client onboarding at Coinbase.com. And it looks like a pretty benign email. I didn't see anything wrong with the email, but it looked like a pretty benign email. This, of course, came from Egghead, if you notice down here. And so people are questioning, all right, well, what the heck's going on? So they reached out to the actual Coinbase help. So help at Coinbase.com. This is their chat on their site, mobile site in this case, and said, hey, we got this mail from client onboarding at Coinbase.com. And going back to the earlier one here, they said, yeah, they screenshot this from a guy named VJ, client onboarding. And I want to know, is this associated with you, this client onboarding at Coinbase.com? Here's the problem. The way he asked the question, this chat is for consumers. It's for people like you and I who are just talking to Coinbase trying to get some answers. The consumer side is not the onboarding side for tokens. So when Coinbase responds, they said, did you get the mail from this mail? Am I correct? And the person said, yes, that's the one. They didn't answer the question because they asked the wrong question. No, he or she Richard did not get a message from client onboarding. That's not what Richard should have asked. What Richard should have asked is, if you're onboarding a new cryptocurrency to Coinbase, do those onboarding emails go through client onboarding at Coinbase.com? That's what should have been asked. That's not what was asked. So Coinbase comes back and says, ignore that. Our emails will always come from one of these addresses. Those addresses are for consumers. So the top one, help at Coinbase, is where you have an issue, you need to get some support. Marketing at Mail is where they tell you about all the fancy garbage they just implemented. No reply is for account updates and things. Info is where they're just informing you something just happened, like say your deposit or whatever. And then support is a different support email address, right? So this person, Richard, I go back to my episode on YouTube about confirmation bias. This person, Richard, well, there you have it. It's a scam. No, you asked the wrong freaking question. You didn't ask the question that would have got you an answer. And you asked her the wrong facility because they can't answer. It's a different department. So no, you didn't ask the right question. So your answer is wrong. And because you were already convinced it's a scam, you went down the wrong path. You didn't ask the right question. The question to ask Coinbase is, when you're onboarding a new cryptocurrency, is client onboarding at Coinbase.com a valid email for crypto onboarding? It's not that he got the email. He didn't. It's when you're onboarding a cryptocurrency, is this a valid email? That wasn't asked, thus it wasn't answered. So no, we haven't verified anything with this. But what it did, ladies and gentlemen, is it got people believing this is truly a scam. Well, then it goes further. On the official Coinbase Reddit, right? Coinbase Reddit, there was some message that says, Hey, I got an email here that came from client onboarding. It wanted me to submit some docs because of changes in the regs. It wants me to change the password first. So I'm a little bit sketchy. I don't know what it's about. This caused people to think, okay, well, wait a minute. Client onboarding at Coinbase.com. And then this Brad Beatty and client onboarding at Coinbase.com. And maybe it's not a valid something and what's going on. And maybe they got taken for a ride and maybe it's a scam. Now people are thinking that this email that Brad or whoever was interacting with might be a scammer that was taking Lily for a ride. Nobody really knows because that person asked the wrong question. We do know this is the valid Coinbase.com chat facility. So the person who answered that is correct when they say, yes, it's a scam email. So they affirm, apparently, that it's a scam email. Is it a scam email to consumers? Is it a scam email in general? I theorize this is consumer side and they don't know. They don't know. That's my theory. I don't know. I wasn't there. But this creates the confirmation bias. It's got to be a scam. It is. Okay. So now everybody's going crazy. Everybody's going haywire. Dumps are happening. Everybody's freaked out. Rodney, Crypto Journeys, he sent out a message. He said, if this goes, me and Jake Gain will put in 10 ETH into Lillian Finance. If it doesn't, Brad has to come on this Schiller show of whatever and explain whatever's going on. This is the worst. It's the worst because all of this was caused by Lillian Finance rushing a damn thing and doing the same mistakes of Satama and Terrarium. This is literally the same thing. All because they were rushing this in. They didn't need to rush it in. They didn't need to hurry this in. They could have taken their time and done it right. And instead, they were so passionate about getting the damn thing in there. They're making these silly mistakes. And then you got whoever sent this out over here, where it might very well be a scam. Nobody knows. I looked at the message of the email. It didn't look like a scammy email message because it didn't say anything about collecting whatever data. So now nobody knows what the heck's going on. But what we do know is that the Lilly team promised that as of yesterday, we were going to get an announcement for Coinbase. That hasn't happened. Coinbase's upcoming listings has not reflected Lillian Finance. That's a fact. All we know is that the theory is December 9th. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of ages over the age of 18, we're right back just like we were leading up to the failed November 13th Vegas event for Satama. It's the same damn thing, where there's all these dates and all this stuff stated and promises and sketchy stuff. It's just that now, because it's a bear, people are actually taking the time to do due diligence as much as they can. The problem is there's a lot of fallacies. There's a lot of confirmation bias floating around where it's hard to piece out exactly what's happening. What I can tell you right now, Lillian Finance told you there's going to be a listing, and then Coinbase told them, no, there ain't. That's fact. Lillian Finance told you that as of yesterday, Monday, Coinbase is going to do an announcement. That didn't happen. That's fact. What we know is that in the official telescam for Lillian Finance, they posted an image of an email that correlates to an email address that was reported in the official Coinbase Reddit as possibly associated to a scam. That's a fact. What we know is that whoever posted this in telescam, this email associated with an email address that happens to be correlated to a chat where the chat person says that's a scam. That's a fact. This is stuff that we factually see. At the end of the day, all of this is the fault of the Lillian Finance people and their ego and their impatience and their refusal to stop making the stupid decisions. And instead, listen, maybe they enjoy being caught with their pants down and Vaseline off the side. I'm assuming these are business professionals who don't want to be acting stupid. And I'm not buying at this point that it's just sheer ignorance. I think what's happening, Egghead, who you see at the bottom there, I think he's pushing people to rush this in there for greed because he's the one that does, he acts like Russ, but bald. He rushes and says, yeah, we're going to make Lillionaire and all this crap. I think it's him. I think he's causing this derail because you always have those shill hypesters inside the freaking project that help make the wrong decisions instead of going after more conservative voices that are helping you do it correctly up front. If you're following Lilly, I'm not telling you what to do. If you're not following Lilly, I'm not telling you what to do. I'm telling you what I see, which is incompetence. I don't even see malicious at this point. Like, these people are just incompetent. They're blind. It's the crypto bubble. They don't understand why the almost cussed stuff that they're doing is bad because they're so focused on the freaking greed. They're so focused on the hype and the shill, just like Satama, just like Terrarium. They all do the same thing. And that's my frustration with them. And as a result, all I can do is watch from a distance, like Bette Midler, and hope for the best and hope it all works out. But investor sentiment has been harmed deeply. And I don't know where we go from here, but that's Lilly Finance. And it is what it is. I'm at this point not really sure what to think other than blatant, blistering, illogical incompetence.